What do you think you're going to remember most from this pandemic once it's all over? Hopefully that I didn't die. Same. A lot of friends in my disability group are considering suicide now because they worry what will happen when ventilators get rare. Will they be deprioritized and die in pain? I have the same concern. I am 39 and had a pulmonary embolism in January. I'm still on oxygen and recovering. If I don't get this thing, I'll be healthier than ever. If I do, I'll probably die. Horrifying reality to try to live with. That there are way more stupid people on this planet than I was ever willing to accept. Remember the George Carlin quote about this? It goes something like, think of the person of the most average intelligence you know. Not of your friends, of everyone you know. Now, remember that half of everyone is dumber than that person. I'm a firm proponent in not judging a fish by its ability to climb trees. Exams and test scores do not prove a person intelligent. But Christ, some of the disinformation that has spread like wildfire about how to treat the virus has me thinking that a lot of people don't take very long to think things through. How education really should make changes. They definitely are now, so that's kind of cool. Particularly, we need to learn empathy, how to discern real news from nonsense, and a good basic understanding of science. How fragile order really is. Yeah, I just keep wondering how things would be if this virus had like a 50% fatality rate. There would be riots in the streets. The extra time I was able to spend with my daughter. Finally, a happy one. I'm glad you're able to see a positive in all this. This is my response too. I have a 2-year-old and she changes daily. It's amazing to spend every day with her. I feel a bit guilty cherishing the time I can spend here, to be honest. What I will remember most is how my company has shown that it really does not care about its employees. Despite us being more than able to work from home, we have to go into work every day and it's business as usual. We were told that we cannot self-isolate. If you don't come into work, you won't get paid. The problem with it is that there are many vulnerable groups of people in the office, and some people have been in touch with others who have tested positive for the virus but are still being forced to come in. We have an open office and therefore if one person contracts it, we all will. Our head office has sent us masks weeks ago, but our manager refuses to distribute them, saying that he is not an alarmist. We have overheard our management say that we are only a few hundred in the office, compared to tens of thousands of clients, and it's a risk worth taking. It's worth noting that I work in quite a specialized field and we are not that replaceable, as we have quite niche skill sets and qualifications. You would think that they would try to keep us there rather than drive us away. Now that our government has announced an immediate lockdown, the company has all of a sudden changed its tune and announced that we will all now be able to work from home. I just fear that it is much too late for me and my family, who are also indirectly exposed to hundreds of other people despite self-isolating for weeks. Once this is all over and done with, I will be seriously re-evaluating my choice in employer. I am not an expendable commodity. I am a human being. Having time with my 20-year-old son. He's my youngest and only kid still at home. We live in Seattle and are under a statewide stay-at-home order. This pandemic is probably my last chance to have significant one-on-one time with him before he leaves the nest. I cherish each moment. He'll cherish it too, I'm sure, even if he doesn't think about it now. Story time, because I'm feeling emotional about my parents. I moved home after college and ended up staying about 2.5 years while I struggled to pay off loans and find a job that paid me enough to move out. I felt like a loser being in the burbs with my parents while my friends had apartments and lives in the city, like I was missing out on my 20s. But it was during that time that I really bonded with my parents as an adult and got to know them more as people. They became two of my best friends, in addition to my parents. Now, I wouldn't go back and trade that time for anything. Especially now, as I worry about their health and safety daily, I'm just so glad I had that time with them. How some people aren't qualified to work remotely. From setting up a monitor, what's HDMI, to connecting to VPN, you never said I had to connect to Wi-Fi first. There's a reason I have a steady job. Oh boy. The amount of people that took desktop PCs from work with them for home office. Only to be shocked that you need cables. That country after country watched their hospitals overflow and collapse. And we all got to watch it, on very short time delay, on TV and on the internet. And that, despite that, the next countries in line were almost all led by politicians who said, when it gets here, it won't be that bad. Until it was too late. And their hospitals overflowed and imploded. And the countries who hadn't had it that bad yet were still saying, when it gets here, it won't be that bad. How everyone is talking about how they are enjoying staying home. Meanwhile my part-time job turned into a full-time one. I worked at a grocery store BTW. Well, at least you work. I lost my job because they closed the ski parks. However, thank you for your work. We will always need food and I am glad supermarkets are helping us in stopping the food buying panic. So good job, Trevor on Reddit. Idiots buying 3 years worth of TP. Imagine having to explain that to future generations. Every one of my children inherits a 60-roll pack of TP. My dad has a small business. His profits were cut in half due to the crisis. We had a family talk about how he might have to quit and go into doing manual labor like washing dishes and cleaning rooms to sustain us. Just sad frown. Sorry to hear that. My dad was in a similar situation in the 2008 recession. Ended really sadly. I hope everything works out for you and your family. The Great Toilet Paper Dilemma. How everyone got on the baking bandwagon just after I did. I started a new job and finally had people to eat my baking, and all the flour is gone. All the flour. How much people in my city don't give a flying fuck about quarantines. In San Diego 2 days ago, thousands of people were at the beaches. There were more people there than I have ever seen during the summertime, and I'm talking packed full of people. It's absolutely stupid how people are about this. Entered into a romantic relationship during the great social distancing of 2020. Somehow. Your text game must be strong. How fragile our economy and society are. How easily this all happened. I don't think I can change those, but I think I can be better prepared. My mama, sitting on her couch, crying. She was watching my baby play on the floor and she said if I get this, I won't make it through. She just sounded so tired. This makes my heart hurt. I called my mom on the weekend. She is immunocompromised and works in healthcare, so she likely is going to get sick. We had a heart-to-heart about what my wedding dress should look like, because we were supposed to go shopping for it last week, obviously cancelled that, but now there is a chance we never will be able to, and that the last time I saw her will be the last time I ever see her. And all she wanted to do was have me paint a word picture of a dress so she could feel like we still had that experience. It's not fair. She's doing her part to help, but all the idiots who think this is nothing are putting her at risk. I hope every person who doesn't take this illness seriously has to face the reality of what they are doing one day.
Make sure to like and subscribe for more stories.